let's do this. Said I was going to stay off of Facebook for a little while. I've lost my voice, yet here I am again. I'll make this clear that I don't like doing these videos. I'm not a glory hound. I don't really like the attention of it. I feel obligated to do so. So I at least ask that you watch and listen. Spread the information. This one's important to me. I'm here to talk about HR347. It is Section 1752 of Title 18 of the United States Code. This was enacted even a couple years ago, and I wonder if people know anything about it. Now, I'm going to give you the summary, the brief rundown, but I want you to go and look it up and read the whole thing. It's not long, and it says exactly what I'm saying. I did my research on this. It is the Federal Restricted Buildings and Grounds Improvement Act. It states, whoever knowingly enters or remains in any restricted building or grounds without lawful authority to do so, with intent to impede or disrupt government buildings or business or official functions, okay, can be held on felony charges. Anyone who conspires to do so can be arrested on felony charges. In relation to the offense of this Federal Restricted Building and Grounds Improvement Act, has or uses a firearm or deadly weapon can be held and charged with a felony. What this is stating is that the Secret Service is given authority to determine when and where these no free speech zones are. Not free speech zones, where no free speech zones are. The Secret Service is given the authority to determine where these areas are. What this is saying is that they are deciding when and where you can protest, when and where you can have free speech against the government. You have got to understand exactly what this is. The president can assign Secret Service to anyone. So if you're standing across the street in a building with a sign and a bullhorn yelling at the government that's inside, they can come out and determine that that is a no free speech zone and take you to prison for a felony. That is more than a year in prison. If you have a firearm at the time that you are doing so, that is another felony. A firearm that you were carrying legally until they determined that that is a no free speech zone. I want to just point out some things here. It says conspires to do so. It says with intent to impede. That means that the government can decide if you were thinking about doing it. Were you planning a protest against the government? Are you hearing what I'm saying? Were you thinking about doing something? Is this the fucking Minority Report? The government just decides that you were going to do something that you had the right to do anyway, and then they decide, the president, who's Praetorian Guard, by the way, I'm going to say this and I don't care, if you are a Secret Service agent, a federal agent, a police officer, and you impede free speech or the Second Amendment, you are a fucking traitor. This is a violation of free speech, the Second Amendment, association, the right to petition the redress of your grievances. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. Period. And yet Congress has done so. Both sides agreed to this, almost unanimously. If the president can assign his Praetorian Guard, the Secret Service, to whomever he chooses, and they can decide when and where these zones are, and they can decide whether or not you were going to do that, even if you hadn't. It reads in the act, someone who conspires to do so, someone who has the intent to impede. Section 1752 of Title 18, the United States Code. These patriots just went out on 10-10. Our brothers and sisters could have very easily fallen into all of that. As far as they're concerned, the people in Oregon that holding up signs telling Obama to take his ass on home, you're not welcome here, all of them guilty of this. Do you see, people? I don't know what it's going to take to wake you up. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's not nut jobs just coming up with shit. Go read it. They're enacting laws that have already violated the Constitution. And they're setting it up so that once they start taking people to jail for this shit and putting them in jail for 10 years, guys like me, other people will get scared and they're going to back down and they're going to shut the fuck up just like they want you to do. It's time to act. Do something. Go scream at your governor. They can change these constitutions statewide. They could change the sitting time of all these other congressmen. Do something. Start using your brains. I don't know how to get people together to do whatever it is you do. I'm just a big loudmouth. I inspire people. That's my job. The rest of you are going to have to get off your ass and get together and start doing something before it's too late.